We are finally nearing the end, everybody. We're at the penultimate episode of Samurai Jack. The episode actually picks up where it left off, with Ashi and Jack quickly realizing they are kissing and stop, nervous and mildly disgusted from the Lazarus 92 venom. Ashi offers Jack his G, and they also try to not talk about the kiss, since, it'd be extremely awkward, which it already is. And then I thought to myself, oh dear God, they're really doing this. They really just did that. Like, oh, keep delaying it, keep delaying it, keep delaying it. Even though they got together, they technically are not officially together since, quoting Nora from Red Ruby, we had to come up with something. Come up with something. Anyways. But he insists she keeps it on her until she finds new clothes, claiming the ship is drafty. Yeah. Soon they spot a hole in the ceiling leading outside. Ashi searches for something to wear while Jack heads back outside, finding a broken water pipe. And the cameras repeatedly cut to the monolith ship, which can only mean one thing: symbolism! Okay, I had to quote Film Brain on that. So, yeah. After Ashi finds a sweater and boots in the locker room, which begs the question, what happened to the crew? Were they part of the ship? Were they killed by the creature? Or was there anyone on board? Like, we don't see any corpses. So were they eaten? I'm gonna go with eaten. She comes across seeing Jack showering outside and kindly leaves him his gi. In private, however, Jack, still in his mental conflict, sees a bearded reflection of himself, warning him to be careful. Jack himself agrees, since this has never happened to him before, and wonders what to do. Yeah, he basically admits that he's in love. That evening, after hunting some worms for dinner, the two awkwardly try to make small talk. Ashi asks Jack if he ever thinks about his home. Jack answers that he does so all the time, opening up to her with the memories of his home throughout the seasons. When Ashi asks if there was a girl in his life, Jack explained there wasn't time since he was only 8 when Aku returned. Yeah, he kept saying like there were a bunch of girls. Awkward. Oh wait, no. He meant that he never had a girlfriend. Yeah. So the memories of his home are the only way he will see it again, Jack admits after she apologized, Jack admits the time before Aku was nice, and the memories of his home are the only way he will see it again, since all the time portals have been destroyed, which we will see very soon. The next morning, a distraught Ashi wakes up to find Jack has left her again. And the look she had on her face signaled one important thing: Jack was a dead man. Meanwhile, we get back to an overjoyed Scaramouche, or whatever, finally arrives at Aku's lair on the top of an octopus. Did he kill the octopus? Okay, never mind. He spots Aku in the distance, only to find it's actually a speaker box in the demon's likeness that refuses to hear him out and ordering him to leave. Okay, I'm just gonna ask, when did he set up that speaker box? Did he just gave up after that last invasion and just said, you know what, here's a speaker box, just do that, instead of just, sending drones to just kill anything that comes near him? Like, I'm curious to know where this logic came from. Like, especially since only a few people would probably visit him. But still persistent, our favorite singing droid simply finds another way into Aku's lair and demands to speak with him. When Aku reluctantly agrees, our droid friend wonders if Aku can hear through his antlers before finally confirming the status of Jack's sword. Rejoicing at the revelation, after demanding some more information if he bets his life on it, Aku restores Scaramouche's body and dances along with him in celebration. Yeah, I was. Oh god, like I get this is Aku, but come on. Yeah, he would celebrate, but I was thinking more darker, twisted, methodical like. But eventually, back in the desert, we see Jack wandering through the desert alone. Nostalgia train all over again! And returns to a familiar robotic graveyard, eventually discovering the Guardian's time portal has been destroyed. And also the Guardian's glasses. So there are several things that made me mad about this, other than Jack realizing that all hope is now lost for him to return to the past. Is one, the Guardian is most likely dead, though we haven't seen a body, though of course he probably was vaporized just like the Scoutsman. Two, the Guardian Aku fought, which means only one thing. That would have been an awesome battle, and we missed it. It would have been awesome, especially what would have been his final words. Yeah. So Ashi soon confronts him, demanding to know why Jack left. Wow, she was really quick to get there. I know she most likely tracked the sandal's footprint imprint on the sand, but how did she know exactly where to come from there to here in such short time? So Jack explains in addition to witnessing the suffering of many innocent people, Aku has taken everything for him, leaving him with nothing but memories, and he doesn't want the same to happen to Ashi. Instead, Ashi assures him they will defeat Aku together. Soon enough, the demon in question reveals himself, followed by a Scaramouche. And it's in a dramatic fashion. Like, we're bad. Ashi is surprised to finally meet Aku. But as Aku claims he is aware that Jack lost his sword, having learned the information from Scaramouche, when Jack reveals the opposite, Aku gets pissed off and blows up, and telepathically blows up Scaramouche's head in frustration. And that was the highlight of the episode for me. I just repeated that scene over and over again, and I was like, but Master, kaboom! Like, that actually was hilarious to me. So yeah, Scaramouche is finally dead. Yeah, I also had the feeling like, oh god, we forgot about the droid. Okay, he told Aku and then got killed afterwards when it was realized to be the opposite. Then Aku goes ahead, says he's casually prepared to leaving as Jack attacks him, but smells something very familiar nearby. But before I get to that, I was like, so is Aku just gonna go back and just grovel around in his lair? That would have been interesting. That would have been funny. But this confrontation was going to be inevitable. So he smells something nearby. He smells himself. Jack is confused by this until Aku approaches Ashi, and he starts to smell more and sense a part of himself inside her. And then Aku asks, "Wait, when did this happen? I don't recall ever." And I'm like, "Wait, are you thinking you don't recall ever having sex? Is that what you're trying to do?" And then he mentions, oh, there was that one time where he personally paid a visit to the members of the cult of Aku, providing them with some of his essence. He then deduces, quite quickly in fact, that the high priestess drank his essence shortly after and gave birth to the daughters of Aku, making Ashi his biological daughter. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't see this twist coming. Like, personally, some people I believe were thinking that Jack might be related to Ashi, which would have made everything extremely awkward with that kiss. So thank God that wasn't the case. But the part where she is she's in love with her father's mortal enemy is like, have I seen this before? Other than Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm trying to remember how many other shows and movies and cartoons ever done the whole, oh, I'm in love with my father's mortal enemy mentality, or oh, my dad is my lover's mortal enemy. Yeah, there were plenty. Like, so many. But this does fully explain where the daughters of Aku came from, and also can kind of explain how the High Priestess gave birth to $7 at once. But this doesn't explain one thing. Well, actually, several. One, where did the cult of Aku come from? Like, how did it form? Why would they be loyal to Aku? Like, did Aku do something for them? No, there's no answer. Huh. So, and the other question is, wait, you mean to tell me Aku never came back to visit when he should have noticed that they would do something crazy with the essence of his? He never came back. Like, then where did they get the ashes from his lair to go ahead and give it that gave Ashi and the other 6 daughters the ability to be in the darkness? Like, I'm really like, I'm a guy who wants answers, man. Like, I want answers. So Ashi is naturally freaked out about this. When Jack tries to attack him once again, Aku just smiles and simply uses his essence inside Ashi to control her body like a puppet, forcing her to fight against Jack. Okay, now this is going to old Teen Titans with Slade controlling Terra, but through technology. So Jack pleads for her to resist, but she is unable to do so. And Aku, meanwhile, is talking to a destroyed robot. And then afterwards, a destroyed robot, is pushed over and collapses on them. So he's willing to kill his own daughter. That's nice. After initially saying, "You try to raise them right, and they go off running off with your mortal enemy." And I'm like, okay, I know this is a joke, but there's so much wrong with that statement. So, yeah, Aku's father, which even lingers on a new plot hole for me. I'll get to that at the end. So when when Jack tries to plead with her to resist and whatnot, Aku just says boring, and Aku tells Ashi she needs to bring out her best, basically himself, and corrupts her with an upgraded version of her old outfit. Initially outclassed by her new agility and reflexes, Jack manages to break Ashi's sword and cut her arm, briefly getting her through to her. Ashi begs Jack to kill her and stop Aku, but he can't bring himself to do so and stands down. Before Ashi in her demonic state can finish Jack off, Aku orders his daughter to stop, joyfully claiming the samurai sword as Jack admits defeat. And the image of it was like Aku trying so bad not to just form legs and just jump into the sky in victory like every cliche old show from like the 80s did. So, yeah. So, yeah, this was an alright episode, but I am left with a lot of questions than answers. I'm like, we learned that the daughters of Aku are biologically related to, well, Aku. But it leaves the other question of how the cult of Aku formed. We never got an answer from that, and I'm pretty sure we won't. If the daughters of Aku are related to him in biological sense, wouldn't they have the ability to not die like the way they did? But like, are they just gonna say, "Oh, they're human, they're part human, so that counts for everything"? Even though it's shown that, even though the sword can only destroy Aku, and since Aku's essence are inside the daughters, wouldn't they be able to survive virtually anything besides Jack's sword? What? What? The human? The part human? So that's the excuse? Okay. Yeah, I'm like getting confusion here. Like, then shouldn't the daughters still be alive, just unconscious, and Aku controls all of them? Like, okay. And and the Guardian being dead, probably. I kept saying, like, I kept thinking to myself, well, the Guardian's dead, and that theory where they thought the Guardian would show up again is now probably dead. And I'm wondering also to myself, so if the Guardian's dead and the time portal is destroyed, how is Jack supposed to get back? like, does that mean the series will end in a post-Aku world? Or does Aku have another time portal he just kept hidden? Or are they going to just... Okay, there are two endings they go here. They go with a bittersweet ending where Jack defeats Aku and somehow rescues Ashi. Okay, that makes three endings. And they have to live in this post-Aku world. B, they go Deus Ex Machina, and Aku is defeated. He is shown that it's revealed he has a time portal for himself, and Jack goes back into the past and somehow rescues Ashi and takes her with him, but that also leads a conundrum. Or C, this goes to really... There are actually one more thing, but C is pretty much connected to D. We go with the fucked up ending, which basically means in this final battle between Jack and Aku, it leads to this. Jack has to try to find a way to kill Aku. However, he needs to find a way not to kill Ashi, since if Aku dies, there's a chance Ashi dies, since they're connected through the power of Aku. So wouldn't that mean Ashi dies? Or... And this also relates to D. If they go ahead and find a time portal that Aku possesses, won't Ashi be erased from history since Ashi is not biologically related to another human being, and therefore she'll disappear with Aku if Jack goes back in time, so that leads to a conundrum. So there are four endings they can go with. The Deus Ex Machina ending, the bittersweet ending, the fucked up ending, and a fucked up bittersweet ending. So yeah, the show might end depressingly in some way or form. That's my best guess. And also, it's been confirmed that the Scoutsman's daughter and the Scoutsman himself, I believe, are going to show up in the final episode. So if they're going to tie all this together, I'm thinking to myself, is this episode going to be an hour long? Because I don't think they got cram an ultimate battle within 30 minutes or 22. Because I really think they should give this an hour length. Like, this has to be absolutely great. Like, this is what the show has pretty much built up to, and I really hope they don't go a Deus Ex Machina ending. Like, that will be the biggest slap to the face you can imagine. But boy, this show has been great, and I can't wait to have the finale and how all this will end. Yeah. But I'm probably going to be wondering these questions for a while, since they're probably never going to answer all of this in one episode. Like, the High Priestess is confirmed to probably come back. Yeah. Like, there is supposedly a possibility the High Priestess is alive and whatnot, but I'm not sure. Also, coincidentally, the final preview for the final episode doesn't show any clips. It instead shows its accumulation of all the previous episodes for this final preview. And this is just a huge coincidence. The episode aired a day before Mother's Day, which foreshadowed Ashi being a relative of Aku. But yeah, I'm also kind of wondering, why didn't Aku ever come back to see what the daughters of Aku were doing? In fact, he treated like the cult of Aku never existed. Like, he didn't seem to remember that part, especially since, well, he wasn't aware of anything. But it's kind of confusing to me, like, wait, he never went back? Like, wouldn't he have known by now? Like, wouldn't he be able to feel... Wait a second, that actually leads to another interesting point. There was an old episode back in the day. Aku controlled these robotic swordsmen and implanted them with his essence, and then Jack destroyed the essence after he had defeated the robots. And Aku felt that. He felt that pain in his hand. And then screamed out the sword, the samurai. So, wouldn't Aku also feel the deaths of the daughters since he gave them their essence? Wouldn't that actually explain something? So, yeah, I'm confused here. Like, greatly confused. Yeah, like, it seems like they're retconning certain stuff to make it say, oh, this explains everything. But, yeah. Oh boy. I think this is why some people didn't want it to be serialized. Like, they didn't want it to be a big story arc, but ultimately do lead to a finale that completes everything in one complete package. But at the same time, they didn't want plot holes, and there are plot holes in this in this season that contradict from previous episodes. So unless they're gonna say most of those stuff didn't happen, even though it's confirmed the Guardian happened. So yeah, and they showed the previous adventures. So still, that would mean they have to change something in order to explain everything. I don't know. I'm just babbling on now. So these were my thoughts on episode 60, 61 and the penultimate episode of Samurai Jack. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. Stay tuned for more.